Hello, best friend, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fabulous day. If this is the first time you're watching my channel, my name is Sebastian, and I welcome you guys with open arms. I do pop culture videos every single day, so if you're looking for a new messy best friend, you have found me. Grab a snack, grab a drink, hit that subscribe button. I would be very grateful. You guys, we have to talk. I have some updates about Amanda Bynes, and I mean, they're kind of like bittersweet. So over the weekend, she was taken into custody. She was put under handcuffs. She was taken into custody for a psychiatric evaluation. And we didn't really hear much about it for some hours until the next day. And she was in fact placed once again for the second time this year in a 5150 psychiatric hold. I mean, it says here that Amanda has been the one to call the cops for help. On Monday, sources told the media that former child star was deemed a danger to herself and those around her. Now that Bynes is under a mandatory psychiatric hold, she can be held up for 72 hours by law. You know, when I said this is kind of like, it's good and bad. I mean, it's good news because she's safe and she is in a place where she can get help. And it's also a very good sign to know that she's the one who actually called authorities and she's the one who called to ask for help. I believe that is probably one of the hardest things you can do in the world when you are dealing with mental health, when you are dealing with any kind of addiction, any kind of, situation that you don't have control over. Asking for help is probably the most, it's a huge thing. It's, a very brave thing to do. And it says a lot about you that you really want to be okay and you want to move forward in your life. But to get to that part, it is a very big struggle. And a lot of people, that struggle is a lot more overpowering. And unfortunately, they never get to the point where they need to ask for help. So, she's there for the second time this year. And it really got me thinking, you guys, that, I really think that there should be some kind of law that like every single child star has like a therapist. Like, how they have like managers, agents, security, assistants. I think they should have like a therapist on call because I mean, obviously everyone goes through this, it's not just child stars, but since she is a child star, we will be talking about child stars, but it's just, there's like this pattern that it's like the child stars, they don't always end up really good, and they always end up either losing the battle or, having trouble within, their whole life. And I think that when a child becomes famous, the family kind of gets blindsided by the money, by the fame, by the, by the opportunities, by the open doors, that they kind of forget to kind of check in on, on their child and forget the fact that they're famous and just kind of focus on the fact that they're still children. I always think about Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, you guys. I used to be obsessed with them, by the way. And Mary-Kate and Ashley, they retired at, I believe it was like 21 years old from the industry. And they're just dealing right now with fashion. They're like fashion moguls, but they are like one of the very few that kind of got out before it was too late. And I believe it was Mary-Kate who was already, going through situations. She was, I believe, struggling with an eating disorder. And there was like hearsay about drugs, but I'm not sure if that's true. And they got out, I think they kind of understood the fact that this industry for children is incredibly toxic. And not only for the children, but I go back to the families, that they really do get blindsided by the fame, by everything. So they kind of ignore the fact that their children are still freaking children. And these call times, I've seen so much, interviews with like children who are in the industry, and they have like crazy call times. They have to film for like 6 hours, and they have school in a trailer, you know, then they have to do press, and they have to go on shows, and they're always surrounded by adults. They never get to have fun with children. So I mean, of course that's going to cause a lot of trauma, right? That's why if you really take a look at it, a lot of adults that are in the industry, who grew up in the industry, they all say the same thing, that it's like over when their children are 18 years old, and if that's what they want to do, then they can go pursue the entertainment world. But before that, absolutely not. I do think it's important for children to have like a somewhat of like a normal childhood, you know, and money is great, but like to what extent and to what length are you going to choose money over your mental health? I really do hope that Amanda comes out the other side. Like, you know, it's such a at least, you know, for me, it's such a personal thing, because not only do, you know, we all grew up with Amanda and you know, Hairspray and all these things, and it's just so sad because you want to see people win, you know, and from someone who has gone through so much of mental health issues, it's sometimes not easy. It's not easy, and it's not easy when you are in the middle of it. And that is why I try and advocate as much as I can about mental health. I know that I'm not the most, you know, is it called well versed? Like, you know, I don't know, like a lot of big words and things like that, but I speak from the heart, and I really do tell you guys that, you know, Amanda is such an inspiration, and I know that a lot of people are only focusing on the negative, but the fact that she went and called the police for the second time and said, you know what, I may be a danger to myself and I may be a danger to others, please come pick me up and put me in custody. That is such a brave thing, you guys. Like, asking for help is such a beautiful and such a humble thing, and I pray that if you're not there yet, that you do get there, because a lot of us go through our storms alone. You know, it's like we're like, you know, that movie Castaway with Tom Hanks, that he's like all alone, bitch. Like, I feel like a lot of people, when they have depression and dark times, they're like castaway, and they talk to, like, you know, fucking, what is it? He was talking to like a soccer ball or like a football or something like that, you know? I mean, it is the truth. Like, you feel that you're all alone because you don't open up. And that's something that I've learned, is that it's important to open up. But you know what, you guys? It's also very important with who you open up. You don't want to be opening up with just anybody, honey, because not everybody has your, you know, best interests, and not everybody's going to guide you the correct way, and not everybody wants you to win, and they, you know, they want you to maybe be a little bit lower than them. So take that into mind. But Amanda, you know, send a prayer to Amanda, also to anyone. You know, I do something at night I've never told anybody, but I'll share it with you guys. I always pray for those who I don't know, who are suffering of mental health and who are going through a dark time. So set a prayer to the strangers out there who are going through a rough time. I think it's important to not only pray for the ones that you know and love, but, you know, a prayer for the strangers who might not have anybody praying for them. So that's what I do every night, actually. But anyways, I love you all so much. I'm so grateful and thankful for you. I really hope Amanda comes out the other side. And I hope that if you're going through a rough time, you know that you're not alone, that I love you, and that everything's gonna be okay. All right, I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah. Bye.